You had the opportunity, Ms. London, to talk to the mother of Rod Farrell today, as I understand it, for about 3 hours. What did she have to say?
Yes, I sure did. And, of course, most of what we talk about will have to remain confidential. But she did have a few words that she would like me to go ahead and release. She wanted everyone to know that she had raised her son in an atmosphere of a great deal of love, and that she and her son have always been close. And she says that the way she raised her son, she has no regrets whatsoever, and that she raised him in a creative environment.
Does that mean she raised him as a vampire? Did she raise him as a vampire?
She did not address that. She just said that she wouldn't do anything differently if she had it to do over. And she also said that she felt that this was, she herself was being put on trial in terms of having her own lifestyle brought into court, and characterized it as what she called a modern witch hunt.
Well, Helen?
And my response to that is that when Court TV stops profiting from crime, and when NBC Dateline stops profiting from crime, and when the Gainesville Sun stops profiting from crime, then I'll consider stopping what I'm doing.
Defense attorney Lloyd Vickerman has been representing Sondra London in this case for almost 5 years for free. Today, he said he has stuck with the case because of the constitutional issues involved.
Danny Rolling's ability to tell his story and to say it in the United States must be preserved. Those at the edges of society must have their voice. If we don't give the people at the edges of society the voice, we lose the voice in the middle of society. And so that would be my response to that. We've got to stop the government's incursion on our First Amendment rights.
There is a unique symbiotic relationship here that in effect makes the two of them one.
The two have corresponded extensively the past 2 years. What Rowling has shared in correspondence are poems and pictures like this one. London says in this rendering, Rowling is depicting his soul, internal conflict, a shaven head, as if he was facing the electric chair. Overall, though, this author says Danny Rowling is giving her insight into a complex man whose life has been scarred by violence.
He wants society to learn from what happened to him, because he feels that violence is overtaking America in a massive epidemic like never before, and he feels that there must be others out there who are struggling with the kind of violent impulses that have haunted him his whole life.
So you can understand why someone might be disturbed or upset or have an emotional problem. It still doesn't excuse committing a crime. In the case of Danny Rowling committing a murder, in the case of this citizen making a public death threat.
It could go all the way to the United States Supreme Court. Bob Keeling is on the Night Beat and reports that the controversy is the subject of an alleged death threat.
Mario Taboda glared and pointed at her. Another victim family member allegedly threatened to kill her if she makes a penny off their agony. Sondra London, her constant court presence a flashpoint, Danny Rowling's love interest, and his hand-picked biographer.
Certainly I have a right to be paid for my work. My work is mine alone, and that no profits will ever go to Danny Rowling.
Critics say London crossed the line, becoming romantically involved with Rowling to ensure unrivaled access to. The so-called Son of Sam law is supposed to keep murderers from becoming profiteers of the notoriety their crimes bring them. But Rowling and London have gone to court in 2 Florida counties to get that law declared unconstitutional.
This law will be overturned as unconstitutional, and at that time I will have cause for damage against the state for causing irreparable harm to my career.
A legal source tells 2 News that as long as the material belongs to London, then it's very possible she may be allowed to profit as long as Rowling does.
As ever, Sondra London made her way through the large media contingent out of court. The self-proclaimed fiancé of now convicted serial killer Danny Rowling said she felt great about his guilty plea, but also felt a little overwhelmed.
How's Danny feeling right now? I don't know. How about you? I'm feeling a little raw.
Pages of other love notes, poems, drawings, and other mementos to London over the last several months, some of which London was forced to turn over to the court after prosecutors issued a subpoena for the information.
Yeah, he mentions it occasionally.
He has not made any statements to me regarding the Gainesville murders.
And to this day, London maintains that she's never talked to Rolling directly about the crimes, but today did seem one of the least surprised about the shocking turn of events.
How is he feeling?